I can't believe this is the second video in a row I'm making on Tom Brady and he's retired, but there's been a lot of controversy around him lately. In our last video, I described how he's pretty much cheating the system, leveraging his broadcasting career to get an advantage while being the part owner of the Raiders. And in that video, a lot of you guys commented that you thought I'd be talking about his current controversy with the New England Patriots. So let's set the stage here. About 2 years ago, September of 2023, Tom Brady stood on stage at Gillette Stadium wearing his number 12 jersey, standing next to his kids with 6 Lombardi trophies behind him. And he told 80,000 fans the one thing they needed to hear. "One thing I am sure of is that I'm a Patriot for life." The crowd went insane. Now you fast forward to this year's Super Bowl, the Patriots are back. They went from 4-13 to 14-3, and now they're playing in the Super Bowl behind Drake Maye and Mike Vrabel, one of Tom Brady's former teammates. And when someone asked Tom Brady who he's rooting for, the greatest Patriot to ever live looked into the camera and said that he doesn't have a dog in this fight. "I have a dog in the fight in this one. May the best team win." And what's happened since might be the ugliest breakup in NFL history, because the people who built that dynasty with him, they're not happy. And I'm talking about current players, former legends, Dave Portnoy. Although, okay, Dave Portnoy didn't really build the dynasty with him, but you get what I'm saying? But there might be a very specific reason why Tom Brady won't back the Patriots. And it makes a lot more sense when you look deeper into it. On Monday, during the latest episode of the Let's Go podcast with Jim Gray, Brady was asked the most obvious question in the world. "You played 20 years in New England. You won 6 Super Bowls there. There's a statue of you outside of Gillette Stadium. Who are you rooting for?" And Brady's answer was just bizarre. He said, "I don't have a dog in this one. May the best team win." And in terms of the Patriots, this is a new chapter in New England. And I'm glad everyone's embraced the Mike Vrabel regime. All the amazing players that have worked so hard to get their club to this position. We did it for 20 years. There is a little bit of a hiatus in there, but the Patriots are back, and it's a very exciting time for everyone in New England. Now, on the surface, that sounds fine, right? He's being diplomatic, but think about what he's really saying. We did it for 20 years, past tense. This is a new chapter, meaning it's not his chapter anymore. He's basically saying the Patriots he knew are gone, and this is somebody else's team now. And that's a wild thing to say about a franchise that literally has a bronze statue of you outside of the building. But this isn't even the worst part. Brady also said he's not even rooting for a team, he's just rooting for people. He said, "You root for people, and you want them to have great performances. I just want to see good football. I want to see good plays, good throws, good strategy, good decisions, and that's the joy in the game for me." That sounds like something an ESPN analyst says, not the guy who went to war in that building for 2 decades. And then this is the part that really set Patriots fans off. Tom Brady went on Fox Sports and said that if he had an MVP vote, he would give it to Matthew Stafford over Drake Maye, the kid who just led his franchise from the worst record in the NFL to the Super Bowl. Brady picked the Rams quarterback. He talked about how Stafford dealt with injuries to Pukanua and Davante Adams and still put up an incredible touchdown-to-interception ratio. What Matthew Stafford's done this season has been absolutely remarkable. Drake's got a long career ahead, but I'm sure he's going to have many opportunities. You know, I would say Matthew Stafford. And look, I give him credit for being unbiased. Stafford did end up winning the MVP, the oldest first-time MVP in NFL history, but it was literally by 1 first-place vote. But for Brady to publicly say he'd vote against the guy who was his successor, that definitely stung for Patriots fans. Now here's where it gets wild. Because what happened next wasn't just fans being upset on Twitter. This was Brady's own teammates, guys who bled with him, who have Super Bowl rings because of him, publicly going at the greatest quarterback of all time. And it all started with Vince Wilfork. Wilfork went on radio in Boston, and he did not hold back. "That's bullcrap, Tom. Don't straddle the fence." Thank you, Vince. Wilfork. And that last part is so important. Wilfork isn't even mad that Brady might think Seattle wins. He's mad that Brady won't even say it. Just pick a side and stop being political about it. That's the part that's eating at these guys. Then Tedy Bruschi went on, and Bruschi was Brady's teammate for years, a 3-time Super Bowl champion, and he's one of the most respected voices in Patriots history. And Bruschi said, "What the hell you talking about?" "Tom Brady. I thought you were going to be Tom Brady. I mean, it's like we've got a dog in the fight. My dog is big, and I'm cheering for him. You know who I'm picking. Put my pick up because there's no other way I'm going. I mean, I've loved the way this team has played. I've loved the way they've won. That's what loyalty looks like, and that's what Tom Brady should have said. It didn't stop there. Asante Samuel, the quarterback who won 2 Super Bowls with Brady, went on X and went scorched earth a former teammate called Brady, the greatest football player of all time, Flaw Brady. Samuel said he was highly disappointed in Brady for not rooting for his ex-teammate Mike Vrabel, who's about to do something special, and then he added this line that I think is really telling. He said, "Brady, you can't be the only one winning Super Bowls. Let me find out you hating on Drake Maye and Mike Vrabel." Think about that accusation for a second. Asante Samuel is suggesting that Tom Brady, the most accomplished quarterback in NFL history, might actually be jealous that somebody else is about to win a championship in New England without him. But the idea of the Patriots winning a Super Bowl that has nothing to do with Tom Brady is something that he can't handle. Now, is that fair? I don't really know. But the fact that his own former teammate is saying it out loud, that really tells you how deep this goes. And then I crossed over from old guard to the current locker room. Robert Spillane, the Patriots starting linebacker and team captain, a guy making $33 million who is about to play in the Super Bowl, stepped to the podium on Thursday and said, "Personally, it makes me sick." He said, "Brady is a Patriot and he does have a dog in the fight." For him to say that, it is what it is, but at the end of the day, he's an owner of the Las Vegas Raiders now, so he has to do what's best for him. That last sentence does a lot of the heavy lifting, guys, because Spain is basically saying, "We get it, you chose the Raiders over us." Even Grank tried to play peacemaker, but even Grank couldn't defend it. Why doesn't he root for the Patriots? Why? I don't know. Because he probably wants to be the quarterback. He's that competitive. He probably wants to be the guy in the Super Bowl right now. Now here's the question everyone's asking. Why? Why would the greatest Patriot ever refuse to back his old team? And honestly, when you do some digging, there's more than one reason. There's 4 of them stacked on top of each other. And it all leads back to one reason: the Las Vegas Raiders. See, Tom Brady isn't just a retired quarterback and a Fox broadcaster anymore. He's a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Raiders just agreed to hire Clint Kubiak as their next head coach, and he's currently the Seahawks offensive coordinator. The deal can't be officially announced until after the Super Bowl because Kubiak is literally coaching in the game, but according to Adam Shaw, it's a done deal. Clint Kubiak wants to coach the Raiders, and they want him to be their head coach. Now, it's only a matter of time before the two sides can formalize a deal. And honestly, if you watch the NFC Championship game and you're just paying attention to how much Tom Brady was glazing Kubiak, this shouldn't come as a surprise to you. And here's the key detail. Tom Brady was the driving force behind this hire. According to Hondo Carpenter of the Las Vegas Raiders Insider podcast, he says that Tom Brady is the dominant voice in the organization. Mark Davis has given him that instantaneously. Tom Brady was extremely impressed with the analytical nature of Clint Kubiak. The way that Clint saw things, the way he talked about things, those two just clicked. Brady and his general manager, John Spytek, led the entire coaching search together. This was Brady's guy. So think about what that means. The man who is about to coach against the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl is also the man that Tom Brady just hired to run his football team. If Brady comes out and says, "Go Pats, I hope they crush Seattle," he's essentially rooting against his own future head coach on the biggest stage in football. That's not a good look for an owner. How do you build a relationship with your new head coach after publicly rooting for the team that just beat him in the Super Bowl? Now, there's another layer to this that nobody's really connecting. Some people have pointed out, including John Friskella in a tweet that went viral, that Tom Brady has a personal relationship with Mike Macdonald's staff, but it goes deeper than Clint Kubiak. Brady has a personal relationship with the Patriots coaching staff. He won 3 Super Bowls with Mike Vrabel as a teammate. He also won 3 championships with Josh McDaniels as his offensive coordinator. And McDaniels just won AP NFL Assistant Coach of the Year with the Patriots this season, so Brady has good friends on both sidelines. But the difference is Vrabel and McDaniels don't pay Brady's bills. The Raiders do. Now, Brady clearly heard the backlash because on Thursday, right before the NFL honors, he tried to do some damage control on Instagram. He reshared the NFL's throwback post of the Patriots' legendary 28-3 comeback against the Falcons, which happened exactly 10 years ago to the day. And he wrote, "A day I will never forget. Drive, determination, and the will to win. Playing the game, I love with the most amazing teammates and coaches that I loved even more." 3 red heart emojis. At the corner of his Instagram story, he added a message that Patriots fans were waiting to hear. Patriots, LFG. Finally, some indication that Tom Brady cares. But for a lot of people, it was too little too late. You had to whisper your support in the corner of an Instagram story after the entire Patriots universe dragged you for 4 days. That's not Patriot for Life energy. That's my PR team told me to do this to fix everything energy. But let's zoom out here for a second and have a different conversation. And it's something I just want to put out there. Was Asante Samuel right? Is Tom Brady actually jealous of what's happening in New England right now? Think about the narrative. For 20 years, the story of the Patriots was Tom Brady. Tom Brady and Bill Bitch, the dynasty. When Brady left for Tampa in 2020, the Patriots fell apart. Meanwhile, Tom Brady's winning a Super Bowl with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The narrative around Bill Bitch for years was the fact that Tom Brady made Bill Bitch. It looked like proof that Brady was the reason for everything. But now Mike Vrabel shows up, Drake Maye takes over, and the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl without Brady or Belichick. That changes the conversation. Maybe it wasn't all Brady. Maybe it was the organization. Maybe it was Robert Kraft. Maybe New England was always going to figure it out eventually. Drake Maye just put up one of the best sophomore seasons in NFL history. 4,394 passing yards, a 72% completion rate, which led the entire NFL. 8.9 yards per attempt, which also led the league 31 touchdowns and only 8 interceptions. He became the youngest player since the merger to lead the league in completion percentage, beating out Joe Montana's record from 1980. He missed the MVP by 1 vote, and he's only 23 years old. If Drake Maye wins the Super Bowl on Sunday, the conversation in New England isn't going to be about Tom Brady anymore. It's going to be about what comes next. And for a guy whose entire identity is wrapped up in being the greatest Patriot ever, that's gotta be tough to watch. And speaking of things that might be bothering Brady, Bill Bitch just got snubbed from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the coach that Brady won 6 titles with and didn't get the 40 votes needed from the 50-person committee. He reportedly missed by 1 vote. We made a separate video on this. Voters cited Spygate and Deflategate, and there were even reports that Bill Pelon told some voters that Belichick should wait a year as penance. And now Tom Brady didn't cause that. But those scandals are connected to the dynasty he built. If Belichick is being punished for the cheating stuff, what does that mean for Brady when he's eligible in 2028? Donovan McNabb already said on Radio Row that Brady can't get in on the first ballot now either. That's got to be on the back of Brady's mind. Now here's where I'll leave it. On Sunday, the Patriots are going to play in the Super Bowl for the first time without Tom Brady since 1997. They're going to try to win their 7th championship, which would break the tie with Pittsburgh for the most in NFL history. Mike Vrabel, who won 3 rings playing with Brady, is going to try to win one as a head coach. And Tom Brady is going to be sitting in the stands at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, less than 30 miles from his hometown of San Mateo, California, watching it all happen. Not as a broadcaster, because NBC has the rights this year. Not Fox, not as a coach, not as a player, as a spectator who says he doesn't have a dog in the fight. Could you imagine how awesome it would have been if Fox had the rights this year and Tom Brady was commentating over the Super Bowl? But that's besides the point. Maybe he's right. Maybe this isn't his fight anymore. Maybe the chapter really is closed. But the problem is, you don't get to stand on a stage in front of 80,000 people and say, "I'm a Patriot for life." And then 3 years later say you don't have a dog in the fight when those same Patriots are in the Super Bowl. You don't get to have a statue outside of Gillette Stadium. And then act like you're Switzerland. That's not how this works. Thanks for watching.